What up, guys? Dr. Vic here. This is tip number 7 out of 30. Can't believe day 7 already. It's been a week of doing this. Hope you're having an amazing new year. Hope this stuff has been helpful. If you've been listening, if you haven't, go back, listen to all the ones from day 1 on. But this tip is all about, we talked a little about time in the last tip, and I wanted to take that even further in this one. So talking about, time management, right? And I want to tell you straightforward, right off the bat, you only make time for what you value, okay? In my book, Rediscover Your Greatness, I talk about this in the sense of if you want to know where your value system is, if you want to know what you value at the moment in your life or where you are, pay attention to what you put time to, right? How much time do you spend on social media? How much time do you spend binging on Netflix or Hulu or these on-demand movies, right? Or shows that you follow? How much time do you have for those, right? A lot of times people say, I don't have time for X, Y, Z. And I always say, bullshit. The reason why is because the truth is you don't value it. Change the story around. Don't say you don't have time. That's not true. You don't value it. Now, you may say, Doc, that's not true. I do value it. I don't have time to work out or I don't have time to meditate. But guess what? I do value it, though. Doesn't mean just because I didn't do it. That goes against the law of what I'm sharing. You only you always have time for what you value, whether you are aware of it or not, right? And that's why I always say when you pay attention to your time and where you spend it, that is where you are, what you value. Your goal then is, if you're like, I don't like that, I want to make time for other things, shift it in your mind to make it more valuable to you. What is it worth, right? They say fulfillment and happiness is how you see things, right? You can look at a janitor who cleans a school, and one guy or girl may look at this and say, I just got to go. I got to clean. That's all I do. I just clean. There's nothing really special about me. Don't like the job. It's just, it pays the bills, and that's all I care about. It's not a lot of enthusiasm there. It doesn't get me excited. But here's someone else who says, yes, I'm a janitor known as a custodian engineer. And what I do is I create a clean environment for students to learn. So I make sure that everything's tidy and organized and straightened up so that they have a clean environment. They have a place that's organized, and it allows them to get the best experience they possibly can when it comes to cleaning. Who do you think is going to be more fulfilled? This one, right? The custodian engineer. And so again, it's that perspective of how do you tie it into your value systems. I don't like to work out. I freaking don't. I know. There's a spoiler alert. I don't like working out. I work out 5 days a week, but I don't like it. But why is it that I carve time and I always have time to work out? It's very simple. I tie a value system to it. And for me, I want to be that guy in his 40s and 50s that's shredded, jacked, great shape. And I want to be in my 60s and 70s and 80s and 90s and 100s where I don't really look old. I mean, I age gracefully. And I don't want to ever be limited to what I can do. Limited by, I want to play whatever I want to do. If I want to go and take up tennis, if I want to play racquetball, if I want to go play baseball again, if I want to get into softball, whatever it is, I can do it. Nothing limits me. And it's what's more important to me. And I tie that to my value system. Or some people say, Doc, how do you do it when you do this, that, all these different things in your life? It's just values. And I set the time and tone, right? There's a day, like for example, how did you do it? Wrote a book again. It's nothing fancy, guys. Honestly, there's nothing fancy about writing another book. With everything else I had going on in my life. The thing is, there's a value system that ties me in to make sure I make time for it. And here's the thing. I don't know if I'm going to be, I know I'm not here forever. I don't know if tomorrow's my last day. I know I'm not trying to get dark and gloomy. I just don't know. Nobody knows. And I'm not going to take granted for that. So every day I'm going to play full out what I can do, how I can be, what I can share, what can I do to help leave something to the world, whether it's not even about the stardom of where I'm going to go or what I want to achieve. It's more about the process of just sharing and getting stuff out there and hoping I can just switch one person to see something different, to become a huge influence in their life. And if that can happen, I'm good. Let's move on to the next. I remember when I wrote my second book, A Walk in the Dark, and I'll never forget, I got an email about 2.5 weeks after it was written. And this email really, I was blown away by the response of how this helped this individual with their life. They looked at the way they looked at life, and they thought this was what life was, and they thought about potentially ending life and this and all these things. And all of a sudden, read the book, and they started to say, you know what, these dark times are always going to be there. Like, to see it from a shift, to understand that life is just, this is how life is, but they're there for a reason and a purpose. And you shared some tools on how to help us with that. She's like, I can see, I have a lot of work still to do, but it was just amazing that she saw that pivot, that change. And from there, I was like, my book's been good. I can move on to the next, because it was one person's life. My spiritual teacher told me that as long as you change one person's life or help influence one person, you've done your job here. And for me, that's not acceptable. I want to do way more, but at the same token, it's those things. So tying your value system, making it more valuable to you, getting emotions, getting more clear on that will make you have more time for things. Just like, I don't have time it's easier just to do this than to do that. Okay, that's true. But it's only easier because of the value system. Now, if you shift the value and you say, you know what, I know if I do this, even though I don't like doing it, it's going to help me keep my energy. I'm going to look younger. I'm going to feel more vibrant, healthier, and all those things. It's worth it. You're going to make time for it. So take a step back, look at your life, see where you spend your time at. Map it out every hour. What are you doing? And be honest with yourself. Do not BS yourself. Don't listen to this and be like, I'm going to prove him wrong. Because if you think you're going to prove me wrong, you will. Because your ego is going to come around and play a story and be like, oh, look, I do this. Be honest with yourself. I do this inventory check almost every quarter. And it's fascinating to see how I get caught up in things. I'll be like, oh crap, I got caught. I'm wasting time here. No wonder this is not getting done. Or man, look at here. I thought I had I didn't have enough time. And here it is. I have an hour and a half gap that I'm just wasting. And when I only do this because I want to make sure I'm on path with what I want to achieve and create. So remember, you only make time for what you value. And so if you're not making time for something, you catch yourself saying, I don't have time for X, Y, Z. I want you to change the script and say, I don't value this. Maybe a gut wrencher, but it's something that plays a psychological trick on the mind. But it's truth. You don't value it enough to make it a time priority for you. So how do you shift the gears? Okay. Try that out. Let me know what you think. Any questions, shoot it in the comments, DM me. But until next time, I'll see you all tomorrow. Keep rocking and rolling.